I appreciate Resident Evil for its refusal to hold my hand. Playing through the game as Jill, there was almost no way I could complete it on normal in a first playthrough. I had no idea what I was doing, and Resident Evil absolutely punished that. Even after switching to very easy mode, the game was a fantastic challenge that I couldn't wait to get through on a higher difficulty. Now that I understand how everything works, it's time to play through normal mode on a more difficult character, Chris, who I tried to play through in one sitting. The original Chris looks like kind of a dweeb. Like, this is the guy you want protecting you from zombies? Nah, we're gonna go with the buff look. I'll be skipping the intro so I don't repeat myself from the Jill parts. This critique will only cover the unique aspects of Chris's campaign, brushing quickly through the stuff that's covered in both campaigns. If you want my thoughts on the other parts, be sure to watch the previous parts of this critique. From the second we enter the mansion, things have already changed. It's not Jill that's gone, as one would think, since Chris is gone in her campaign. Instead, Barry, good old Barry, has disappeared. We hear a shot, and with Jill's good wishes, Chris is off to investigate. By himself. With a knife and no gun. Remember, Barry comes with Jill in her story. Another immediate change is Chris's inventory having a limited 6 slots as opposed to Jill's 8. This is largely why people recommend playing Chris on a second playthrough, as you'll have a much better understanding of the mansion and which items are most important. You can plan your routes much more efficiently so the neutered inventory isn't a problem. Chris also has a lighter at all times, freeing up an inventory slot and all but eliminating the threat of the Crimson Head since I can burn dead bodies all the time. Since I'm playing on normal difficulty now, that's simply fantastic. The zombie interaction happens and I run back to the foyer to find both Jill and Wesker gone.
Wesker? Jill? Where did they go?
Thankfully, there's a gun on the ground so I don't have to knife it out for the foreseeable future. I grab the map on the statue and get ambushed near the defensive knife item. Nothing we haven't already seen. However, I'm much more aware of ammo limitations and the like in this playthrough, so I don't waste my bullets and instead let the guy be. I do my best to juke out that mirror zombie by the arrowhead, only to get wrecked. Fortunately, Chris has more health than Jill, so I should be able to take more hits. That said, I'm playing on a higher difficulty level, so his health might be lower or the same as hers. Then I try knifing the guy to see if Chris's knife is any stronger than Jill's. It's still a big mistake, and I lose more health. So I head out to the graveyard and notice the shotgun ammo is being guarded by a big zombie. He ends up attacking me on my way out of the grave, but I dodge, grab the shotgun ammo, and bail the hell out. I'm really feeling that inventory limitation this time around, as I don't have any green herbs to heal Chris, and I can't pick any up. With full pockets, I make my way to the safe room on the west side of the house. Back in the mirror hallway, I gun down my first zombie on the way there to try and reload my pistol, hopefully opening up an inventory slot for heals. I juke out another zombie on the way there and make my way inside. Hearing that theme for the first time is super reassuring. I heal up and decide to stow my save ribbons in the chest this time around, unlike with Jill where I'd carry a few with me most of the time. With Chris, I simply need that pocket space. I head down to the gross-ass kitchen, somehow dodging this zombie along the way. Considering I was just really bad at dodging zombies as Jill, I'm happy I can actually survive with Chris this time. It probably helps that Chris runs faster than her too. I grab an old key and that cutscene happens again, though I just leave the dude there this time. I should note that Chris doesn't have the lockpick Jill has. Instead, he needs to find old keys hidden around the house to open certain doors, making his playthrough again a little bit more difficult. Before arriving at the safe room on the second side of the house, I put away some plant chemicals and grab the fuel canteen to burn some bodies. It's a little annoying still having to carry the canteen to burn zombies, even though Chris's lighter is always with him. Like, yeah, I'm saving an inventory slot without the lighter in it, but I'm also down 2 from Jill's pockets in the first place, so is it really that much of an advantage? While I'm definitely trying to conserve ammo and prevent Crimson Heads, there are certain moments where I'm willing to massacre with Chris. This is largely because he has a higher chance for headshots than Jill. Like, I know I'll be going through the stairwell super often since there's a safe room and multiple key areas, so I make a point to actually fight the zombies here, blowing off one of their heads in the process. I do some more roaming around trying to clear rooms and find as many old keys as I can. There's no rush after all. After finding the dog whistle, the blue gemstone, and the broken shotgun, I go and grab the real shotgun all the way on the east side of the house before heading out to the porch to heal and blow the dog whistle. I use the shotgun for one dog, then try to conserve ammo by hitting the other with my pistol. After grabbing the fake armor key from the dog collar, I go and grab the real one from the armor trap. You know, knowing how to play this game really helps things move along. Thanks to the key, I can open the rest of the east wing, which means facing that f***er in the closet. To make things easier for me, I burn the initial body so it's just a 1v1 before wrecking this hoe with the pistol and finding yet another old key. Of course, I gotta grab the bonus shotgun ammo too by using the blue gem. Instead of wasting tons of shotgun ammo on the creature here like I did with Jill, I know to simply throw the chems in and enjoy my green herb rewards. That's the first mask done. I get jump scared once again by the zombies busting through the windows, but not by the zombified S.T.A.R.S soldier that I expected this time. I head into that hallway where Richard was attacked in Jill's campaign, only to find this girl who calls Chris you. I've still got to grab the serum, however. Let's see if I can actually save Richard this time. I grab it and take the front path back to Richard, making record time, so this asshole better be alive. So I actually get there in time, and Richard gives me a radio while I learn the girl's name, Rebecca.
I'm gonna give you a shot now, Richard. Hang in there.
Here. Take it. It's a radio. Take care of yourself, Rebecca. Richard.
We head back to the East Wing safe room while Chris gives Rebecca a freaking gun to defend herself before she claims they'll come after me. Anyway, I solved that armor puzzle by randomly pushing the suits since I'm still not sure of their actual order, but second mask acquired. Wesker leaves me some ammo in the East Side safe room. A legend for sure. He's totally doing this because he's a good guy. That bug room is still super creepy, but hey, I've got the Windcrest now. I find yet another old key in the bedroom across the hall there as well. Through the Richard hallway is yet another zombie in the kitchen, which houses a music sheet. Since Chris has a lighter on him at all times, I easily solved the puzzle, unlike last time, which required a ton of backtracking. Back at the West Wing safe room, Rebecca treats my wounds, which is a huge plus since Chris can't always carry heals with him. It's here we learn for the first time in Chris's campaign that Umbrella might be involved with what's going on at the mansion. It turns out the medicines in the safe room are from Umbrella, the biggest taxpayers in Raccoon City, which is kind of ominous.
Umbrella?
Don't you know? They're only the biggest taxpayers around here. They make most of these medicines right here. Homegrown in Raccoon City.
I find the other piece of sheet music in the piano room, and Chris tries playing it wide-eyed as all hell, but it ain't good. He's not a natural musician like Jill. Fortunately, Rebecca just happens to come through and can play it for us, though she needs a little time to warm up. I waste some minutes busting zombies and checking in on Richard. He's still passed the fuck out, but at least I can grab a few heals. There's also another old key, but I can't find where it goes. Anyway, Rebecca has had enough time to practice now and plays so beautifully that the hidden door opens.
Practice makes perfect.
What's this?
Rebecca really worries about me moving a few steps over and placing the old emblem where the new one was, but it's all good.
Were you all right in there?
Yeah.
I solve the clock puzzle again and get that sweet, sweet key. It's time to find the other masks. You know, I'm quite pleased at how smoothly this is going compared to my first playthrough. Players weren't kidding about getting to know the game first before playing hard mode. I finished the colored painting puzzle next and grabbed the third mask in the cemetery, also finding a use for that last old key I grabbed. Alright, it's time to take on the big snake. Or so you thought. I simply grab the mask and bail since I don't actually need to fight the snake. That's what a knowledgeable playthrough will do for you. Every mask is now in my possession. I grab the shotgun shells from the graveyard and place the masks on their respective faces. Since I know what I'm getting into this time, I beat the Crimson Head on my first try, though he gets a few hits on me for sure, just enough to make me panic. These two zombies in the hallway have really been pissing me off too, so I gun them down for good measure. It's time for the northern tier of areas. The stone and metal object goes in and the door opens, and I'm treated to tons of heals just like in Jill's campaign, only I have much less inventory space to carry them this time. There's also the flash grenade defensive item that only Chris gets. This thing is awesome. It's a defensive item that blows a zombie's head off. Nothing super unique, but I'm a fan. Instead of Barry warning us of the monster in chains this time, it's Wesker.
Respond. Wesker? Monster in chains. Treat. Not says. Away from woods outside the mansion.
An interesting little aside considering Barry has essentially been a non-factor in this playthrough. He also doesn't mention that guns are ineffective like Barry does, instead saying to retreat from it. If Chris was your first playthrough, you'd have to find out the hard way that guns don't work on that thing. Past the gate puzzle is the wind crest, which I forgot. You may remember I accidentally had it on my person as Jill, but with Chris, I didn't even have the foresight to keep that thing on me. I know there's a safe room in the cabin though, so I head that way to grab the crest. Dealing with the monster is no less scary, though I don't waste my time fighting it, juking it out in the back instead. I get the Magnum and head the other way from that heals room and get contacted by the helicopter pilot to bring awareness back to the game's main mission. I remember the crank ahead of time and enter the residence. Knowing ahead of time that this place is packed with enemies, I bring 3 guns and prep to clear it out. Since Barry apparently doesn't exist, there's no moment with him in the bedroom. So I quickly grab the key from the tub, find the hanging dude's bedroom, and light the candles in the bar room, making sure to grab that red book on the way out. I even feel so confident that I don't take out any of the spiders, which bites me in the ass on my way out. I leave the heals there so I can return and grab them later and submerge into the underground lab. Richard is here where the shark is, looking absolutely worse for wear, and sacrifices his life for me in a really overdramatic scene.
Chris, stop! No! Richard.
But every scene in this game is overdramatic, and it's better for it. This serves as an interesting warning about the shark, which I don't get as Jill. With her, there's just some tense music and the shark suddenly attacks out of nowhere. It's terrifying, but in a different way than watching someone else get eaten by it. It's kind of funny how inconsequential Richard is here, though I read that's kind of the entire point of him. If I didn't save him, he would have just died from the snake poison. If I saved him in time as Jill, he dies during the battle with said snake. And also, this is hilarious. If you play as Jill and just run into the snake battle, grab the mask and bail, like I did in Chris's campaign, he stays behind to fight it and dies anyways. The poor man was just created to sacrifice himself for our main characters. What a tragic existence, but I will always remember you with honor, Richard. I drain the water and find Richard's assault shotgun next to the big shark. In Jill's campaign, this would have been rewarded after the first snake fight if I had saved him. But I didn't. I zap the shark, grab the residence key, and head toward the Plant 42 wing. I planned ahead with screenshots of the lamps and pool table, so this keypad wasn't an issue. The bees and insecticide are still here, though I do quick work with both. That said, the assholes poisoned me, so I gotta rush back for a blue herb right quick and to resupply. Both shotguns are now with me as I return to the lab, ready to fight any boss that comes my way. It's here where Chris's campaign differs a little more from Jill's. He, quote, doesn't know much about medicine, so there's no point in grabbing the glass bottle on the table. This essentially means Chris cannot make the V-Jolt to kill Plant 42. You know, Chris really isn't anywhere as intelligently inclined as Jill. He can't play the piano or use chemistry. He's kind of just a big brute here to do damage and protect those who can do more minute tasks. Anyways, I go do that book puzzle to open the back door in the Plant 42 boss fight. I head in there and get mauled before firing some shots into the thing. I fire shots until I'm out of heals and about to die, so I bail out, heal back up, and try again. Thanks to the assault shotgun, I actually take it out pretty quickly. There's no cutscene like in Jill's campaign with good old Barry, but as I leave, Rebecca is just leaving down the same hall as me. "Oh, you scared me," she says. "But you scared me." Chris reveals to her that Richard and the plant are dead.
Richard. He's gone.
Chris blames himself as he could have done anything to prevent Richard from throwing himself into a shark's mouth. Also, they forgot to put a space in between watched and out, so good job, Capcom. As a writer, I have to notice these things. Anyway, Rebecca claims to have found a pharmaceutical room, even though I'm the one who found and unlocked it. Before going in, I head back for heals, and it's Wesker. I know what you're up to this time, thanks to Jill's campaign, but I can't do anything about it, which is kinda sad. Wesker sounds super disappointed that I'm still alive. He claims our plan is to explore the mansion more and that he'll take over at the residence. An overall pretty useless conversation where Chris learns absolutely nothing. I also learned through my research that if I let Richard die from the venom, I would have taken control of Rebecca when Chris got grabbed by Plant 42 and have her make the V-Jolt. But since I was a good boy and saved him, I have to fight Plant 42 myself. Richard dying is the reason I got the assault shotgun though, so it's okay I guess. Brad the helicopter pilot keeps us on track via the radio, stating to give him a sign if we're still alive. I grab those heals near the mansion and get freaked the fuck out by those reptiles again on my way to the eastern safe room. Even having more health in the assault shotgun as Chris doesn't make me feel safe. I get through that wall-crushing puzzle and blaze through George Trevor's diary to grab the golden medallion as well. This time I try simply walking past that terrifying spider on the wall to save some ammo, and it actually works. Hell, I even sprint past the other ones with no damage as well. Look at me learn how to play. The elevator power is on again, and it's time to head to the second floor where I get instantly mugged and waste 2 recovery items, so that's cool, but whatever, at least I can burn the body. Chris and I grab the battery together and head to that hidden art room. It's at this time I'm trying to find what I know is the costume room. I don't end up finding it and still don't know how to, but I do want to find it on my next playthrough for sure. I use the battery to power the elevator to turn off the waterfall, and into the underground we go. Here be Enrico, who calls Chris a double crosser before getting shot.
What happened?
Double crosser.
Enrico, wait.
At least Chris looks back at the shooter, unlike Jill, though still no one is found. Enrico simply mentions Umbrella and bails this time. That reptile jumps out of the corner and makes me scream again, just like last time, which is just lovely. It's all cool though, because then I get a double kill with my assault shotgun. Gotta love that thing. Chris turns the rocks over with his big ol' muscles and oh, what's this? A working flamethrower. Nice. I'll leave it for now, but we'll come back for it. Epic dodge roll aside, I try to get through the spider room without wasting any ammo, but it ain't going well for me, so assault shotgun it is. I use a few rounds to hold the spiders off and break my way through the webs. The thing poisoned me, but I got those blue herbs on deck in the next room. I do notice there are no green herbs though, like there were with Jill. I wonder if that's because I'm playing as Chris, or because I'm on a harder difficulty. It's probably the latter. I pick up the courtyard map and see the rest of this area revealed. Chris and I dodge the next boulder to find some first aid, which is exactly what I needed. There's that bothersome puzzle room, which gives me the cylinder to finish off the elevator puzzle from the start of this area. But first I want to try the flamethrower. I bring it to the spider and it hurts me again, so I just bail. Maybe next time. I should mention I was attempting a sub 3 or 5 hour playthrough for the trophy, which is why I rushed away instead of trying again. The elevator puzzle is solved, though there's no berry to stalk me while doing so, which could mean that the elevator stays here? We'll see. I managed the Lisa circle room with next to no trouble thanks to my previous experience, and do the whole box on the transport thingy. On the way back, the elevator is busted for no reason. I'm still blaming Barry though. You'll notice during this playthrough I'm playing both more haphazardly in some ways, but more cautious in others. I'm rushing through enemies and am more open to taking hits thanks to Chris's higher health. I'm also working to preserve ammo and get a decent completion time for those sweet trophies. So my overall approach is quite different, and I think it's brilliant that just one playthrough of this game allows me to face a second one in such a different way. I know there are other game modes too, like invisible enemies and player challenges like knife-only runs. Each run builds on my knowledge from before, and I feel ready to take those special runs on in the future. It's all thanks to the memorable areas, enemies, and other facets of the game's design. This truly is a special game with moments that stand out even to a first-time player over a decade later. The tense atmosphere paired with the cheesy dialogue and quirky moments are as standout now as they were at release, and it should come as no surprise this game spawned such a popular franchise. Anyways, the garbage compactor provides a broken flamethrower like before, which I placed near this door to enter Lisa Trevor's room, or area, or living space. It's just as creepy as before, and I spend much less time here as a result, grabbing the jewelry box on my way out. This provides me the second stone ring, which puts me one step closer to opening the gate in the main foyer. Oh, and there's a note from Lisa here, but it doesn't matter. There's nothing sinister going on at all here. We know that. Oh, and this is random, but I was reading on forums or Twitter the other day, and someone mentioned that the Japanese term for this franchise, Biohazard, is way better than Resident Evil. I completely disagree. Biohazard is a cool name in its own right, and I'd have no problem if that were the unanimous franchise name, but Resident Evil is such a better name. It's ominous and leaves tons of room for questions and intrigue. Where is the evil residing? What kind of evil is it? Supernatural? Demons? Maybe an angry orange man? It's a term that demands answers you'll only get by playing through the game. Biohazard is, again, fine, but it's all telling. Like, there's a disease and it's bad for us. It basically says zombies. There's no intrigue. But alright, enough of that, back to the game. Chris is waiting. I head to the second fight with Yawn the Snake and absolutely wreck its ass. This provides me with the other medallion needed for the final area, but before that I open the jewelry box from behind the art room to get a key that opens the study with the weird door.
Rebecca! Is she upstairs?
I enter to hear Rebecca screaming. Chris thinks she might be upstairs, but I have a puzzle to solve. I turn on the light and grab the metal object, acquiring the last piece of that puzzle. Heading upstairs to find Rebecca, she gets absolutely wrecked by a reptile in the library, and I get a dope camera angle of gunning it down. The girl will be dead though, and Chris is crestfallen. He's even at a loss for words, the game says.
No.
Apparently, if I was faster, I could have saved her in time. It's the same thing that happened with Jill and Richard. I'm just sorry I'm not faster, guys. There are too many decisions presented at once, and I just have too much to do. Maybe in another playthrough. Anyways, it's time to head down into the deep unknown using the metal objects. We head down the ladder to find Wesker with an absolutely fantastic line.
You're a bit of a mess up. Chris, take a piece of the action.
It's a much faster and less dramatic moment than choosing to let Barry live or die, but it's alright, I guess. Knowing what to do, I quickly finish the fight and read the note from Lisa's mother once again before speaking with Wesker, who claims that he'll
investigate this area a little further.
That said, I'm not really sure what else there is to investigate, but you do you, boo. I run back up to the safe room to grab the gold and silver medallions and drain the fountain for access to the secret underground lab. Chris and I stock up on some ammo and run past the zombies to save some shots. We log into the computer via the John and Ava name and password combo to open a locked door and go to grab the slide filter for the projector. While doing the X-ray puzzle, it really dawns on me how much faster I'm getting through this part. With Jill, I took my sweet time reading the lore and trying to solve these puzzles, but with Chris, I simply know the answer to everything. It's pretty obvious in hindsight, yeah, but I hadn't really considered how this part would go in a second playthrough until I was already doing it. The projector shows me that code to open that computer room with the lab key in it. Also, Kenneth's video still doesn't make any sense, and I'm clueless as to why they allow me to watch it. I blow the head off of that crazy fly spider thing, which Chris is somehow able to take on with the straightest face possible, and then I grab the final M-disc before heading to the last safe room in the game. Little do I know that I'm already past the 5-hour mark, so I'm not getting that trophy. At the time of playing, I was so pumped to get done in a fast time, though I should note I was purposefully not looking at the clock to avoid that extra bout of anxiety, by the way. I grab the fuel capsule, fill it up, and make the long trek back to the fuel supply machine without running. Kinda like with my first playthrough, I have a relatively easy time getting back, though Chris does get his neck grabbed for a second or two, which isn't ideal, but hey, we're alive. We activate the third M-disc and start the power to the elevator, and we find Wesker, who's super proud of me, and Chris learns that he was a little piggy for Umbrella this entire time. Also, Chris kinda turns into a bitch here, unable to fight off this dweeb, but it makes for dramatic effect, I guess. Tyrant, the ultimate life form, absolutely wrecks Wesker, and I gotta admit, seeing that for the second time is really satisfying, though I will never understand how he survives the hit. I down the Tyrant in no time with the Magnum, and wait, is Wesker actually dead in this playthrough? His body doesn't disappear, and I also noticed that the lab isn't self-destructing, but look online to discover that's because Rebecca died. If I had saved her, this place would have went boom. Oh well. We go to save Jill and have a wonderful little reunion that's a little less awkward than Jill saving Chris. They have a nice little hug and she runs off because I forgot this game loves to leave me alone. Most of Chris's campaign has been alone anyways, thanks to the lack of Barry, so at least I'm used to it by now. Jill stays behind by herself to wreck some zombies. Apparently she can handle by herself what Barry and Chris needed two people to do in my first playthrough. We light the signal rockets, Jill comes up looking a little hurt but overall fine, and we just leave, without fighting the Tyrant. Also, the final cutscene reverts Chris back to the dopey looking dude, so that ruined any sense of continuity. We also see what I assume to be the Tyrant opening his eyes, or maybe it's Wesker? The growls sound like the Tyrant, but maybe Wesker is a zombie now, who knows. He does tell me I do a fine job during my score screen, even though the playtime is much higher than I would have liked. That said, I did save much less, use a lot less ammo, and overall do a much better job getting through the game efficiently. I'm alright with this results screen, even if it wasn't what I intended setting out on this playthrough, which means I really need to do another one sometime. I think I enjoyed my Jill playthrough more, but probably because everything was new to me. I still really liked the Chris campaign, as it had me playing through the game in an entirely new way, forcing my initial knowledge of the game on its head, and also forcing me to take on challenges in new ways. If that's not a sign of a well-designed and thoughtful experience, I don't know what is. Thank you guys for watching, happy to finally be done with this project, and I'm proud of how it turned out. I should be covering the second game soon. I plan on playing the original before the remake, so then I can do a video comparing the two side by side. Thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you all in the next video.